start on Christina? Yeah, of course. She just wanted it that way. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for this week's live Q&A. Sorry it's on Friday, not Saturday. I'm headed out of town this weekend for Memorial Day weekend. If you're not from the US, sorry you're not celebrating. You're not getting the day off. But yeah, so before we get into this, GLE 63S 2021 model year, let's cover a little bit of ground here. First off, I want to take a quick thank you for Joshua Rodriguez. He became a patron this past week, which is really awesome, showing me some support for the channel. And if you would like to join him and become a patron, I would be so grateful. I've got a link for that on the MPH channel. I will have a link in the description for this video, so that would be rad. Also, subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And we will be having, I already have the walk around for this car. I may already have the POV drive and the POV night drive for the GLE 63S live, so if you don't want to hear me talking, you can listen to those, watch those, and then we will also have a review on Monday at 10 a.m. for this bad boy right here. So check all of those videos out, and I hope you get plenty of content for the 2021 GLE 63S. I think that does it with the announcements, right, Christina? All right, she's done with it. So let's get into the questions. What do we got first?
Okay, is it capable of off-road? Can it do a burnout? From Andre COG.
Okay, so two different questions there from Andre. Is it capable of going off-road? Yes, because it has an air suspension system and an electronic locking differential. It has the ground clearance for that, so we can raise up the suspension. And then it has a variety of different off-road driving modes. I think it has sand, rock, gravel. So I think I could probably show you those modes at some point in here. We can get into that when we get into the interior. But it does have off-road driving modes. It is capable enough off-road. I don't know if I would do it on 22-inch wheels. That might get a little rough, and you wouldn't want to scrape those bad boys. And also, you know, $115,000 SUV. Your call whether you want to take that off-road. Yes, it can go off-road. It cannot do a burnout, however. It has permanent four-wheel drive. Unlike some other Mercedes-AMG models, you can't just default to just rear-wheel drive. So no burnouts in this guy, but it has the power, certainly. So if you can just go in there and hack the system to make it rear-wheel drive, you can do that. Next question.
Well, just a reminder that we're answering questions from Instagram first.
Great reminder. Yes, so first we're getting to the questions from Instagram and YouTube's community page. So YouTube community, you know how to get there. It's on the channel page. But for the Instagram, it's at MilesPerHr, so just like the channel name on Instagram. So you can go there and follow and ask your questions early before these live videos go. The other way that we answer your questions prioritized is if you make a little contribution in the super chat. Again, that would be awesome. Super grateful for that. But yeah, we will get to YouTube questions in a second. But let's fire off the next Instagram question first.
Okay, is it better than the X5M? Is it comfortable enough to be a better buy than the GLS 63 from Freddie Lambu? So there's two questions in there.
Okay, so let's start with the X5M. Of course, that's going to be a question. That is this car's direct rival. The GLE 63S would technically be a rival for the X5M competition, which makes 617 horsepower, costs about the same as this, so around the $115,000 starting figure. So we'll do S to competition instead of regular 63 to X5M regular one. The question is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. As you'll see in my review, my conclusion on that particular question is really preferential. So the GLE 63S, as I've found out, is basically a lot of excitement, maybe similar excitement that you get in the Trackhawk, the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, but it has the refinement of a German vehicle. It is not as precise handling as the X5M, and BMWs, they're a little more muted in terms of like the shouting. This is a little more shouty, but the BMWs are a little sharper, a little more feedback through the steering. So it depends on what you want out of your super SUV. I find that this is more my flavor. It's fun every day, and in an SUV, I'm not personally going to go track my SUV. If I was going to go track my SUV every week, I'd probably choose the X5M competition. It would be more engaging On a racetrack, it would be sharper. I'd get faster lap times. But just as a daily driver, excitement with some handling precision, I think the GLE 63S is better in those regards. What was the next part of his question?
Oh, is it comfortable enough to be a better buy than the GLS 63?
Ooh, then the GLS. Another great question. So I had the GLS a few weeks ago. I was blown away by how that vehicle combined so many different elements in one. It had the power, it could really handle itself despite being a full-size SUV, and it was very comfortable. My critique with the GLE 63S, as you'll see more in the review, I don't want to spoil too many things there, but it's got some issues in terms of daily driver comforts, depending on what your commute might be. So if your commute has a lot of highway driving, I don't know. You may have to take a second guess on this one, but it is comfortable around town as a daily driver, certainly. What do we got next?
All right. Well, first I just wanted to say hi to everyone.
Oh yeah.
Tuning in. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
We will get to you very soon. How tall are you? I love the blue, green slushy box.
Well, the height question, it's fair because like my driving position in the car, you know, how I fit in the back seats, I'm 6 feet tall. So when I can fit behind my own driving position, that's a 6 feet tall driver position, and then my leg room as a 6 feet tall individual behind that. And the blue is spectacular. It's, shoot, I already think I forgot the name for it. It's blue something. That's really bad. I forgot the name for the blue. It's in the review. It's in the walk around description. It's probably in the description for this video. It is in the video description. Check that. Sorry.
Okay. How much brake horsepower from Maymuna Diop?
Maymuna, it has 603 brake horsepower from a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 paired with their EQ boost system, which is a mild hybrid 48-volt system. I'll just pop the hood so you can see the engine. Because every AMG engine is hand-assembled. And this one was assembled by Martin Vazlushki. I probably mispronounced that. Almost certainly mispronounced that. But it is a pretty engine. And this one has, get this, this is a $1,500 option to have this carbon fiber piece on the engine. Yes, it makes it look better, but is it worth $1,500? You be the judge. I don't know. All right, next question, because I know there are going to be a lot of them for this car.
What's your favorite feature? Is there one thing you could improve? What would it be, and why?
Okay.
They have a lot of questions.
Okay.
Dylan Wells, so I'm just
Dylan Wells. We'll break it up. So favorite feature would have to be. It's just got to be the exhaust note. It sounds really. It's rich. Like the Trackhawk was just blaring exhaust, and it was fun for that reason. Muscle car like. This is it's got a rich tonality to the exhaust, and it develops as you dig into it. It doesn't have the supercharger whine that I love from the Trackhawk because it's twin turbo, but it does make a really nice noise. I can play that for you if you'd like. Let's do it. Oh, the hood slam with authority. Yeah, not too shabby, right? The pops and bangs. That gotta be awesome. Yeah, that's one of my favorite features. What was the other one? Yeah, that's why. Okay, we kind of went into the X5M there. The X5M was sharper and more feedback, more gain, but this is more exciting. That's it. Perfect. The gist. I love this question. I think it's a great question. Dylan Wells. Love this question. He's got a few. But this was the question great because the truth of the matter is that move this way. The truth of the matter is that a lot of economy brands are adding so many luxury touches to their vehicles that they are really approaching full-on luxury manufacturers of luxury vehicles. So now, can you hear now? Anyone? Chiming in? Hopefully you guys can hear. If don't hear anything. Oh man. Technical difficulties. All right, let me pull this out. Well, we're just gonna. Then all of what I said was useless. I hope so. Hopefully we're not having audio issues. Anyone? No response. All right. Well, I'm just gonna keep talking. I think you can hear what I'm saying. All right. Well, we're just gonna continue on, and hopefully the audio. Because if it isn't, then it's definitely an issue because I have pulled out the external mic, iPhone mic right now, so it should be working. There shouldn't be anything going on. It is that it's a YouTube issue, and unfortunately I can't help with that. But getting back into the discussion about whether it's working as a luxury vehicle. Oh man, that's the problem. Can you hear me now? Not in a bottle. Not in a bottle. Genie in a bottle.
Yes.
Yes, all right.
Oh.
Victory. Okay.
Okay, start it up one more time.
Okay, we'll do it one more time.
Just one more time.
Did we hear that?
Yes, they said now is perfect.
Okay.
Thanks everyone for your patience.
Yeah, thank you guys for waiting it out. Sorry about that. So I'm assuming you didn't hear some of the answers to the questions that were asked. I apologize. Not knowing which ones weren't heard, I'm not going to retrace all of my steps. We'll just continue on. And if anyone is watching, ask questions that were not answered, but they would like answered, just comment. Yeah, so anyway, long story short, even though it wasn't a long story because you couldn't hear it, the GLE 63S I do feel is worth the price that it's asking and feels significantly more satisfying in terms of performance and quality of materials than a mainstream automaker trying to push the boundaries of luxury. Are you good with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How does the ride handling feel compared to the X5M and Porsche Cayenne Turbo? From Will Long.
Okay, so Will Long asked about the ride and handling compared to the X5M and the Porsche Cayenne Turbo. Same deal in terms of the handling. As I was discussing about the X5M competition, this GLE is good in a corner. It definitely feels flat and stable. The feedback I'm getting as a driver, however, is not at the level of the Cayenne and the X5M. So I feel like those cars are really finely tuned with their steering. Their electronic steering racks are to the point where not as good as a manual rack, but you can really feel what the front tires are doing. This, it's a little nebulous. I'm not really sure what's going on with the front tires at all times. I know it's stable, I know it's flat, and therefore I keep pushing, but I want more communication out of it. So the handling of the GLE, I wouldn't say is at the level of the Cayenne and the X5M. The ride, watch the review. I'll give you more thoughts on that.
Okay, another X5M question you probably already answered. If you have driven the X5M, how does it compare from Elliot?
Okay, yeah, Elliot's more questions about the X5M. X5M, in a long story short, X5M, sharper, more feedback as a driver, as a driver's SUV. This one, more excitement on a daily basis.
Awesome.
Thanks for the question, Elliot.
Can we use it as a daily driver? From Zach LRW.
Yes, it can be a daily driver. Watch my review for more thoughts on the particular instances when it is a little not as satisfying as a daily driver. Teaser, highway. But watch the review to learn why it's not so great on the highway. Around town, it's wonderful.
Okay, can you review an Aventador SVJ and can you drive faster? From Esther Anosite.
Esther asks if I can review an Aventador SVJ. Yes, the answer to that is yes. And in fact, in 2 or 3 weeks, I have one coming. So look forward to that. I'll have POV drive, walk around. Christina just got really excited because she likes Lamborghinis. So you're not seeing it right now. She's smiling. So I have that coming. We'll do the walk around, we'll do the POVs. And we'll see. It's only a 3-day loan, so we'll see if I can get a review done in that time.
Will you drive faster?
Will I drive faster? So this question probably because I drove the Huracan Evo Spider, and some of the commentary was like, you're not driving fast enough. Well, here's the thing. For me to continue doing these POV drives and walkarounds, I need to retain my license. And if I get pulled over doing some insane speeds, I will not have my license, therefore the POV drives will stop completely. So I think you would all prefer if I drive within reason, responsibly. I want to keep people safe on the road. I do have a racing license, I know what I'm doing behind the wheel, but that doesn't mean that someone can't come out of a blind corner and run into me or something. And me doing a speed that I can control most of the environment is a much better idea. So I'm going to continue to drive, showing you the passing power, the performance within reason, but I'm not going to go insane. I don't have a racetrack at my disposal. If I did, that would be a different answer.
And this is why people also trust you with these cars.
Yes, this is why the automakers give me the cars.
Okay, now I'm headed to YouTube.
YouTube, all right.
So
We're shifting over to YouTube. I don't know why I'm answering.
Lots of dabs from Bernard M. Heyo. And
What's up?
Zoni from Serbia.
All right,
And
Serbia.
then Jose is here and Jose first. Okay, from, I'm so sorry if I mess up your name. Arjun Gashi, is it better than the Macan and the X5? Which you answered X5.
Okay, we're not going to
Better
talk
than
about
the
X5 anymore, but Macan. Macan is actually a different segment of vehicle. It is a size down. So this is more a direct rival for the Cayenne Turbo. And so, I mean, it's an apples to oranges in a little way. The Macan Turbo is a wonderful handling vehicle. It feels far more like the Cayman in terms of its driving experience. It's really rewarding as a driver's car. Let's do another spin around so we're not just hanging around.
We should also see the side.
Oh yeah, let's show off the interior. We'll do that as I'm talking. But the Macan, I think, is going to be more rewarding as a driver's vehicle than this is, but this is more fun for sure on a daily basis. Okay, let's get to the next question.
All right.
And I can point some things out in the interior while you're doing that.
All right, hello to Lenny, Fast Racing, hello. Okay,
Hello.
from you, Reed, do you like the Panamericana grill?
Do I like the Panamericana grill? Good knowledge dropping there. Sorry, there's so much noise in this parking lot today. We're gonna close the door. We're gonna hop in and close the door because we got so much going on. Panamericana grill, we just spent a lot of time on it and now we're not there anymore, is the grill design for AMG vehicles that they have at the front. It's bowed a little bit, and it's curved, and it's big. It happens to be large enough to accommodate the massive TriStar emblem that they have at the front of the grill. If it was any smaller and if it looked any different, it might look more awkward having that TriStar. So I think the Panamericana was good. Panamericana is a good grill design. It's not my favorite because I don't like massive grills, but the design itself is fine. More questions?
I'm gonna go sneak a little film of it real quick.
Okay.
A grill. While I look up the next question.
All right. That's an awful noise.
Oh my God.
That's an awful noise.
All right, we're gonna be dropping
They're
off.
cutting down a metal tree.
Okay.
You can see a lot of brake dust on these wheels because I've been braking hard. Shows how I've been driving it. Lots of brake dust here. These are steel rotors, not carbon fiber, but they are slotted and ventilated. So they bring this big old 300-pound SUV to a halt.
Okay. Another question from Arjun Dashi
Yeah.
is V8 customer.
Yes, 4-liter twin-turbo V8.
Okay. And from Mohammed, I can't believe people are buying these coupe SUVs.
This one is not a coupe SUV. This is just a standard SUV. They do make a coupe version. Sorry, you may just be making a general comment because I kind of agree with you. I don't understand the coupe design SUV. I am driving a Cayenne coupe this week and I will have a review for that. And so I have some thoughts, more thoughts in that review, but I agree. Just go traditional SUV. You get more cargo capacity. It still performs pretty much the exact same because all the coupes weigh the same as the standard SUVs. The X6 doesn't weigh any less than the X5. So I agree with you.
All right.
I'm not gonna rant.
Lowe's Kia does not like the fake front bumper.
Fake front bumper. This piece down here, you mean, I'm guessing? Look how far it juts out, by the way. Like, so go to the side. So like you got grill. This is the Panamericana grill, by the way. And then, bam,
Yeah.
it juts out so far. So you're not a fan of that? That's understandable. The design of these AMG vehicles is not going to be for everyone, for sure. I don't actually have any strong feeling one way or another. I don't love it. I don't hate it.
Okay, from SPK Appia, 0 to 60.
0 to 60 is 3.6 seconds, as quoted by Mercedes-AMG. But Car and Driver sees faster. I think they see like 3.2, 3.3, which is astonishing, given the dimensions and heft, mass of this SUV. That's fast. That's super fast.
Okay, from Mohammed, how about the E-Class wagon for your next review?
Oh, I'd love that. I have driven the E-Class wagon. I drove the E63 on track, and that it was wonderful on track. I'd love to get one of those. I don't know if it all depends on whether Mercedes has one in the fleet. So the way I get cars, anyone curious, is I work directly with the automakers. I don't go through dealers. I don't go through any of that stuff. It's directly with the manufacturers. And so if they have a vehicle in their fleet, I can access it. I can get a loan, assuming that a million other journalists haven't already scheduled it. But if Mercedes-AMG doesn't have the E-Class wagon in their fleet, which they may not, then I can't get it. I can't review it. So I will ask them, but they may not have it.
Okay, are they available at the dealer now for purchase from Alvin Musi?
No, they are not. Good question. They will be available this summer, but they're not as of right now. I get early access as a journalist. Perks of my job. The fact that I can drive it at all is a perk of my job. All right, let's go back to the interior. Why don't you go on the passenger side? We've shown the exterior plenty. So my driving position. Someone already asked how tall I am. I'm 6 feet tall. And so this is kind of my digs back here. Got this big panoramic sunroof, which is $1,000 by the way. And I have leg room, plenty of leg room. This one has optional heated seats. The one thing that I don't love about this rear passenger quarters is that there's this foot pocket down here that typically is big enough, even on the GLS, it was big enough for me to slide my feet under and stretch out more. This one is not that way. This is as far as I can get my feet under, and so my knee angle, gonna get very geometric here, my knee angle is way too close to 45 degrees. Or 90 degrees, sorry. I would prefer if it was a little more like 45 to 30 degrees, but it's too much like 90. I want 45 or 30 degree angle.
Wow.
Thank you. Christina loved it. Quad zone climate control, optional on this one. We've got it. I love the macchiato beige color. Don't know why I remember that. For this leather. Looks great, especially with the blue. Gosh, I really can't remember the name of the blue paint. Blue metallic something. Deep blue metallic. Brilliant blue metallic. I knew it was an alliteration. Brilliant blue metallic. Just took me a while.
What are the differences between the GLS 63 and the GLE 63S?
Effectively, a third row of seating, more weight, and somehow, as I concluded, more ride comfort in the GLS than the GLE. You can also get more options for the rear seats. You can get like executive packages. I don't know if you can get those on this GLE. You can definitely get them on the GLS. For these rear passengers, really to spread out, and that's pretty much it. They are effectively, they've got the same powertrain. They use it the same way. Oh, you can't get an S version of the GLS. Like that? You can't get an S version of the GLS like you can in this one. You can get a GLE 63S. That's where you get the race mode and the extra stuff that they make it handling-wise better. So yeah, okay, there are some components to the handling that the GLE has, the GLS doesn't have. It has disconnecting sway bars. It has electronic anti-roll bars that the GLS also has. It has active chassis control that I believe the GLS has. And has like one or two other things handling wise that the GLS doesn't have, because if you would ever take a GLS to a racetrack, you're my hero. But this you could conceivably take to a racetrack. I wouldn't, but you could. Those are kind of the whole sum. GLS, in short, to sum that up, GLS, more about comfort, daily driver comfort. This one, more about performance.
Awesome. Okay, from Sam Sharma, is the lower door trim next to the seat still cheap plastic like the regular GLE?
Lower door, oh yeah. That's a good question. So right here, you can actually show on your side, because then we won't have the annoying noise. So right here, so a little lower. Right here, that is super cheap stuff. That's a great question. This is really cheap. Really cheap materials that doesn't go, okay, so it stops.
It's gonna get real scratched up.
Yeah. So like the Alcantara headliner, the Dynamica, Mercedes-AMG calls it, goes to here, and then it turns into this cheap material that then stops again over here at the carpet. So that's a really keen observation. And largely this vehicle doesn't have that cheap material, although, hey, look at this. So the leather here stops there. So the door inserts are leather, but then right here, this goes cheap material again. So there's some cheapiness to be found. It's not a Bentley after all.
All right, how is it comparing to GLS? You already answered that.
Yep, answer that.
Okay, someone commented that it looks like an egg from Zaid's. Mohammed doesn't like the outside.
I've also heard it compared to a melted stick of butter. Credit Blake for that one, which, yeah, you can kind of see it. Some of the meltiness, it's like curvy, like it's been drizzled over something for a while.
Okay, from TGR, what would you prefer as a daily driver, this or the X5 or 6M?
This.
Yeah.
The X5 and X6M, oh man, I mean the X5 is great, but I'm not going to be attacking like canyon roads all the time. And so the theater that this has, the style, the ambient lighting, like the technology, this is a much more satisfying daily driver than those vehicles. However, those vehicles, the X5, the X6, are just going to handle better. BMW spent more time developing the way those handle, and it's not just the capabilities, it's the feedback as a driver. So on a track, these would probably be pretty similar in a racing driver's hands in terms of their lap times. Maybe the X5M slightly faster in competition compared to the C63S, but the feedback that you have as a driver is going to be better in the Cayenne Turbo and the X5M. I'm really sick of that noise.
Just close the door.
Yeah.
Okay, from Sam Sharma, is the Cayenne Turbo worth the $30,000 to $50,000 premium?
Don't think so. I don't think so. So the Turbo S e-hybrid is $30,000 more than this. The regular Turbo is like $10,000 more than the starting figure for this. I don't think either are worth it. I like the Cayenne Turbo. They handle really well. The package that you get in the GLE 63S and the package you get in the M Competition, I think, are so good that asking another $30,000 more for 60 more horsepower in the Cayenne Turbo SE Hybrid and really not any better interior appointments. The design, it's more conservative. Some people are going to like that. I think the design is really good, but yeah, it's not worth the extra money that I think you have to pay for the Cayenne Turbo S. And the options list for Porsche is always out of control. So that car's easily going to get into $180,000 really quickly.
Okay. From Sarah Ross from Kurdistan.
All right.
How does the leather feel? Like buttery or solid cheap feel to it?
No, this is
Nice.
definitely buttery leather. This is very soft leather. It's a great question because all leather looks the same in video. So you really need to get here, and I'm a very tactile person, so I have heightened sensitivity.
Oh.
Yeah, Christina's like making fun of me. Heightened sensitivity for...
Some would say high maintenance.
Okay, some would say that. I wouldn't. But it's very soft to feel, and you'll notice in all my walkarounds and reviews, like I'm touching everything. I'm not creepy. I just want to see if it's high quality. Like this right here, that's super cheap, and I hate that. But this feels excellent. The contradiction or juxtaposition rather of really nice and really cheap is weird to me. Like I was in the G wagon and there was this big piece of nasty plastic right next to really high quality leather, and it just didn't make any sense. But this
Show
is
on the wheel and talk about the...
Oh yeah, okay, so the AMG Performance wheel, that's standard on the S version of this vehicle. Yeah, you stay back there, that's actually a good spot for you. And I can close the door now, so we don't have to hear mowing equipment. So there's Dynamica, aka microfiber suede, in the where your hands are gonna fit, and 9 and 3 on the steering wheel, and it's got a flat bottom, and it really, like, this is very similar to like Le Mans driving Mercedes-AMG vehicles. I think they're still in the 24 hours of Le Mans. I believe so. But, you know, it's got some curvature. It's not just a rounded wheel with a flat bottom. It has, like, angles here, and that's super cool. You've also seen probably the Aston Martin Valkyrie, and it's got the completely, like, rectangular wheel, very much like racing derived. This has some of those elements to it. So leather up top, flat bottom, AMG printed on... I can't tell if that's metal or plastic. I think it might be plastic. It's just really high quality plastic. This is really high quality plastic. But it doesn't look bad, and I don't think it's going to scratch super easily like the piano black here will. Oh man, look at all this piano black right here. This is going to scratch real quick. I don't want to rant too much because you can you can watch the review for all my thoughts.
All right. Hi, Jorge.
Hi, Jorge.
Thanks for joining.
Should we go for a drive now? Is it that time? I think it's time. Okay.
Sure.
Christina has been feeling well, so she doesn't know about this.
Yuri, I have the same color GLC 63S.
Nice. Nice.
And from Elbasan, would you happen to know the starting MSRP for both the GLE 53 SUV and the GLE 63S SUV?
I mean, I know the GLE 63S. I don't know the 53S. I know it's, you know, a chunk of change less than this. The starting figure for this is 114,975, I believe, or 955. Very close to that. It's just under 115,000. But the GLC, I think E53, probably in the high 90s. High 90s.
Okay, from BMoth. Hey guys. Hey.
Hey,
Thanks
Bima.
for joining.
Thanks for joining.
Sam Sharma, couple of interior quality questions.
Mhm.
If you press on the carbon fiber or wood trim, does it creak?
Okay,
And-
so here's.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the wood trim. It's high gloss linden. I would not choose this. I like matte open pore woods. I'm not going to go too far into that because again, it's in the review. But this looks too much for most of the day, like piano black. You already have piano black here. I don't need more glary things, so I wouldn't choose this. Does it creak though? Let's hear.
A little.
A little. It's not bad. It's really not bad. I don't like the glossed over woods. I would choose a matte wood. That would not creak as much, I don't think. But yeah, it creaks a tiny bit, but not bad. Really not bad.
Okay, and does the AMG drive unit on the steering wheel, when you press in, does it creak?
Okay, so here's the drive selector right here. When I press in, it doesn't creak. When I press in, it pops like it's a button. But it doesn't creak. It just makes a button sound. Fair questions.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear what the horn sounds like? Anyone want to hear? There you go. Sounds like a normal horn. I actually like, that's weird to say, but I like the sound of that horn. It's not too high pitched. It has some authority. Get out of my way.
Okay, again from Sam Sharma. That Dynamica on the steering wheel looks like it'll wear hard after the first few months.
Oh, 100%.
He
100%.
says, do you suggest opting for full leather instead?
Yeah. I mean, this feels great for, you're right, like for a few months. It's already starting to, what's it called? Like on fabric when it, pill, thank you. It's already starting to, this is why I have Christina here. She knows these things. It's already starting to pill a little bit here. So that's going to be an issue of quality after a little while. Go full leather. You're not going to have to sacrifice that much in terms of tactile awesomeness. This feels great for right now. In a couple months, it's not going to look very good, and it won't have that cool microfiber suede feel to it. So go full leather because the leather feels great. Great question.
Okay. We have a tire question.
Okay.
So we should probably go look at that.
Go look at the tire, and then we're going to drive.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Yokohama Advance 285 front, 325 rear. Yokohama Advan is the tire manufacturer and the model of tire, and Advan Sports, I suppose. So they're high performance summer tires. They're pretty good. They're not Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, but they are good. And 285 section front, 325 section rear.
Will there be reviews of Porsche Cayenne?
Potentially. This is another one where, like the other fellow asked about the E-Class wagon. If it's in the fleets and they have it accessible, yes, I will review that. I've already driven the Cayenne S. I have a POV drive of that, or maybe it was just a regular Cayenne. I have a POV drive of that. I have the Cayenne Coupe this week, so I will have a review of that. Yeah.
From TGR, any turbo lag? If yes, does it ruin the experience in any way?
I have not noticed any turbo lag. If there's a lag at all, it's simply the way, if you're in the wrong drive mode, there's just going to be a delay in terms of the throttle tip in. So the throttle mapping is going to be a certain way. You need more air or less air? More air, okay. The throttle tip in is going to be, the throttle mapping is going to be different in certain drive modes. So that's the only time there's going to be a delay. If you're in comfort and you punch it, it's going to take a second. But it's not the fact that the turbos take a while to spool. Really, if you're in Sport Plus mode and you put your foot down, it's not going to take much time at all. I will show you when we're driving. Are we okay to drive?
From Robbie, very nice car.
Yes.
And then Bima, would you say this is more of a luxury SUV or a sporty SUV?
Oh. So just in those buckets, that's hard to answer. Where's the parking brake? So I think I skipped through. Oh, it's over here. All right, we got it. No, I'm really messed that up. I was in park. That's going to keep you from moving forward. I think in those segments, it's really difficult to answer that question because it has certain elements of sportiness, the theater, the fun, the excitement there, but in terms of handling the X5M and X6 and X5M competition and Porsche Cayenne Turbo are going to be sharper. It handles very, very well. So yes, it's sporty. The luxury also, certain elements are definitely there. All of the fit and finish that you're going to be touching on a daily basis are high-end. The stuff we can certainly find, as we did already, there's some cheapness of the plastics, low down, and in places that you shouldn't be touching that often. But I can't really expect absolutely everything is going to be high quality because it's not a $250,000 Bentley. It's $113,000, but largely that money, $114,000, is going towards the engine and the performance. So, oh man, you want to give me a strict answer, Miles? Sure. Okay, more sporty than luxury, but it's a close symmetry of the two.
Okay, from Sam Sharma, do you prefer black/darker wheels or chrome?
Black or, oh, in terms of like the inlays, I'm assuming he's asking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the actual wheels.
No, I mean the wheels, yeah.
Yeah.
You're only ever going to find like gray leather wheels. You're not going to find like a chrome full colored wheel.
Oh, like the wheel outside.
Oh, the wheel.
Steering wheel.
Sorry. I'm looking at this. Thank you. This is why I have Christina clarifying. I'm looking at a steering wheel, so I'm thinking, chrome wheel. There are chrome inlays here. It depends. It really depends. I'm not typically a chrome fan, but on certain vehicles, I'll take it over black. On certain vehicles, the black doesn't really go, or it distills the whole excitement of the car. So the answer is it depends. All right, well, let's switch into, so I was in comfort for that. You can kind of feel the rides smooth, the air suspension doing its thing, but now I'm going to switch to Sport Plus. Oh, that's a red light up there, isn't it? It is. So we'll drop down a couple gears real quick. I'm going to turn on the air just for a second. Dropped it down. Oh, hear the nice pops. So yeah, no delay. You just saw there is absolutely no delay in terms of the turbos spooling up and getting you going. What did I swallow?
Fly.
So in that section, I put my foot down, but I was in the wrong gear. So I wasn't manually controlling that. It was in the wrong gear, and so it took a second for it to downshift. I find this transmission, it's a 9-speed multi-clutch automatic, to be good. It's not my favorite gearbox. As an example, it wasn't letting me, in Sport Plus mode, upshift at redline. It would upshift 500 RPM before redline every time. And so I would go to upshift myself. I would upshift, and a fraction of a second after it had already decided to upshift. And so, shift up twice. That's frustrating to me. Meaning I would have to drive around in... What is going on? I would have to drive around in race mode all the time for it to, I think, or, I mean, if I go into manual mode, so you press the button down there, I'll see if it'll let me go to red line. But you don't want to always have to go into manual mode every time you do this. It's just kind of annoying, right? Okay, it let me go to red line there. But I still have issues with the gearbox.
Okay, there are a few more questions.
Okay.
Porsche Cayenne Turbo or Mercedes-AMG GLE 63S? I think you already answered.
Pretty much already answered that. The Cayenne Turbo, to me, isn't worth the money for the things I enjoy about a SUV, performance SUV. I just want daily driver fun.
Okay. Grand Shoe is saying, sir, is there pedal shifters available?
Oh, thank you. I've never been referred to as, no, it's not never, but I'm not often referred to as a sir. I appreciate that. There are paddle shifters on this one. They're right here. They're not the biggest paddle shifters. They're actually like only maybe 3-4 inches long in the back. So you really have to know where they are, and they're on the steering wheel, not on the steering column. So they go with you when you're turning, which is neat, but they're not like the legit giant paddles on the wheel.
especially like your 3D POV and watch every day.
Oh,
So
Yuri, that's so
nice.
nice of you. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy them. I will keep them coming, I promise.
Okay, beam up. Does this have the bounce suspension?
So, he's probably referencing from, who did it? Oh my gosh, I cannot remember. So another YouTube channel did the suspension. So if you go into, yes, it does have it. So it has the air suspension and it has the different drive modes. I can't really show it on a public road. I can show it in the parking lot. But you have to go to a different drive mode. All right, so we'll go to a parking lot. Just go right here. It's a random parking lot. And you can shift into sand mode. So sliding up on here. Sand. It's going to raise the suspension, and well, it takes a second, and then it basically hops the car forward using the air suspension. And the logic there is that by doing this, you're not going to get stuck in sand. Always keeping momentum, always keeping the car going forward. Should almost be at its raised height now. And I actually don't know how to trigger this activity. How to trigger this. So I'm in sand mode now, but I don't know how to trigger the bounce stuff. Big fail right here. But yes, it has the bounce suspension. I don't know how to turn it on. Maybe I need to, I mean, there's got to be other settings that I'm not doing that I need to. I'm in sand. I'm in high.
Some people are saying it doesn't bounce, so maybe.
This one doesn't bounce? Oh, man. I thought it did. Maybe it doesn't. It has the air suspension. It has the sand mode. I thought that was what you needed for this vehicle to do that. If it doesn't, I apologize for misleading. Not my intention.
Okay. Auntie Mac, hello from Philadelphia. Do you prefer
Hello.
that over the G-Wagon?
Oh, gosh. G-Wagon's great. And the new G-Wagon especially is great. I liked the old G-Wagon, but it had too many sacrifices. The new G-Wagon is great. Honestly, I'm just going to say neither. I'm going to go with GLS. I loved that GLS. And I really have no immediate need for a third row of seating, but I still love the GLS so much. So, neither. I'm going to go GLS. G-Wagon's great. This one is great. I want GLS. Okay?
Okay. I'm only going to take a few more.
All right.
We're at 48 minutes.
That's a long video.
So Max 10101, is it cheap to maintain a Mercedes? I know that.
Yeah. No. I don't mean to laugh at your question. I'm laughing at the concept of trying to maintain this vehicle.
Yes.
I hinted at it in the reviews, but there are so many things going. I mean, the car is a computer, all right? So if there is a glitch in the computer, it's going to be extensive to fix this. In warranty, you're not going to have any problems. Out of warranty, I would not want to be the third owner. Second owner shouldn't have any problem. I don't want to be the third owner of this vehicle because things like the air suspension, all of the active components, the EQ boost system, the computer itself, the infotainment, all that, these are all things that if they break, it's going to be expensive. So no, I do not think it's cheap to maintain. Old Mercedes, 90s and earlier, absolutely, because they didn't have all this technology stuff. New ones, not a chance. It's all of your monies.
Okay. And that's going to about wrap it up.
All right.
I'm going to ask, they're all just talking about the suspension. So, thank
People
you.
who know, answer the question better than I did. Sorry. Thank you for commenting and helping out the other
I think
commenters.
it's like their bounce feature is only available on the GLE 450.
Okay, so it's only on the 450. I had the 450. I didn't do the
Even
bounce
though
suspension.
It's the same suspension.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
We'll give it
I'm
a
learning something today. Not often. I host the Q&A and I learn something. That's pretty fun.
No, I feel like you learned something like everybody.
Oh, Christina. Throwing bombs. All right. Whee! That sounds good, right?
Oh, Max 10101 says, tell him he must have watched it from the straight pipe.
Straight pipes. Thank you. I kept thinking throttle house, and I knew it wasn't throttle house. Straight pipes. How could I forget that?
Oh, final question. Glare on the screens?
Glare on the screens? No. Shockingly. I have driven it quite a bit, and I have not really noted any glare. Certainly not to a degree that's going to be a nuisance. There may be a little glare on corners, but no. Screen glare, not a problem, which I'm happy to report. Because there's a lot of screen real estate, as you can clearly see. I think that's probably going to do it. Unfortunately, I'm not the first to this light, so I can't show you launch mode, but basically it's the most simple launch control there is. If you go into Sport Plus and you hold your foot on the brake, you start accelerating, put your foot on the throttle, pin the throttle, let go of the brake, and you launch forward. But I don't think I can do that, unfortunately. Oh, I did a little bit, but then there's... Christina didn't like that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not yet. If you want to support on Patreon, I would love that. And check out all the videos I've got coming up for this starting tomorrow. Review on Monday. Woo!